Won't you look at that? But wait, this is not how it started. Let's go back to the beginning. So I decided to do today, we are going to redo completely the dash. So this dashboard here is going to get kind of like a countertop, and is the same countertop that the rest of the kitchen side of this is gonna get. And so I need to cover this whole thing up with a layer of plywood to level this up. And the design that we have here is kind of like a little box that come out in the middle, but is also V-notched. And then this will enable us to go in and out of the spaces here for the driver and the passenger here with no problem, like not hitting your knees or something. I also have to leave a space here for this. I just covered this temporarily. This is actually the return air for this heating system, that it collects the air here, kind of has a filter there, it passes through this heating thing, and then it throws all the way to the windshield. And also there's like some other pipes going in this side, and then it goes on that side too. Very good stuff. But since I covered this whole thing up, I need to plan this box to also leave a space. But today, right now, I'm going to build a support for this thing. So in order for this plywood that's gonna sit on top here to sit flush here, I need to cover this gap, right? And we have about to 2 inches here. It's a little bit more, but it's kind of about 2 inches. And to do this, since we're gonna cover this whole thing up, we're gonna use the same plywood that is on this side to bring a little, kind of like a little profile that is it's gonna be 90-degree to the top here. So it helps a little bit to hide this whole area that is looking very ugly right now. So I have a bunch of ages of black things painted here, and if we try to just match this whole thing up, I still have this part here that is this aluminum extrusion that things were tied in here in the past. Very heavy duty stuff, but we're not going to use this to mount anything now. So the idea that I'm coming up is to bring kind of like a piece of wood here that is going to help support the top, and then we can screw this against the grain of the plywood from the top, and at the same time screw this in here into this aluminum piece, so this is very strong and it doesn't shake and vibrates over time. And then I was drawing some stuff here. I hope you can understand this. My drawing is terrible. This is an attempt of the 3D of that thing to plan my distances in here. So this is kind of what is the dash here, ignoring a bunch of things. And then this is, if I cut just like, don't worry about the 3D, this is the profile that I have. So I have like 2 inches from the top to the bottom here that I need to cover. And then I have this piece of aluminum here, the extrusion, with some space in the middle, but I can screw the bottom. So the piece that I'm gonna do is a very long, and I think I have to divide in 2 pieces. I'm gonna do this piece here that is about 5 inches, a little bit less, that is gonna help to hide some of the view when you look from here, because in the back there's gonna be another cover. So this whole thing is gonna look like it's all one cabinet in the future, plus this cabinet that's gonna cover this. But I have a challenge here, that is the steering wheel column here, because this thing moves both ways and also goes up and down. I need to leave this space free. There is the maintenance access for this that I'm gonna leave, and I also need to worry about if I ever have to have access to this panel here. So this panel hides some ugliness of wire on like below this steering column here. So this is kind of the job now. It's very tight, the space to work in here, and the dimensions are very precise, because you don't want this thing to look crooked, and at the same time you don't want the bottom to look too big there, and also you don't want it to be short for sure. So this is what I'm working on, and I'm bringing you guys with me again. Let's go. After some work being done here, and debating on a lot of measurement things, getting it wrong partially and having to redo one part, I decided to do in 2 parts. The steering column wheel is going to take this piece here, and I didn't record making this, but it's just basically a bunch of measurements and then some very precise cuts in here, and more of the same. So I pre-drill some holes here. They're going to be countersunk into the aluminum structure that I have in there. To find the right measurement from the bottom to this, it was a challenge, because the measurement is on the blind side of this. So anyway, took some trial and error. I decided to notch the steering wheel column thing in case there's a maintenance to be done in that part. I think that's a serious enough part of the bus that if something goes wrong, I really want to have access to that without having to unmounting any of this. But I divided this in two pieces because if we ever have to have access to that black underside hiding the wires, we can just unbolt those screws and this part's gonna come out. And then it's gonna also obviously help with the access of the steering column. And then the other part is just basically like a long rectangle here that's going to support the whole thing, and the spacing for attaching this to the aluminum extrusion. And then in the future, the top here is going to get the screw from the top flat part into this, and this is all going to be hidden by the countertop material, which is really cool material. In the near future, we're going to show you this very nice material that we found. Anyway, this is where I am right now. I'm about to hit this thing with I already sent this, and I'm sorry, okay, I forgot to record, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna hit this thing with some Rubio monocoat here and get this all done, finished, and then I'm gonna go ahead and install this there, and then is one last piece of this puzzle. So wish me luck. So off camera, I forgot to record, I built this pole that is gonna hold, let's say, the electric cabinet. So this is what I'm talking about. So there is now like a very solid metal pole here going from the floor to the ceiling, and this is going to hold the sidewall of this cabinet where all electrical things are gonna live. And it is very important that this is strong, because besides holding this side here with potentially some equipment, it will also hold a hinge because there will be a door in there. It was extremely hard to get this 90 degrees because with the floor, because I don't have access to the original floor anymore. The floor is slant forward and also sideways because of the wheel wells, and I think a bunch of, this is the only part in the bus that is actually metal under, so connecting those two wheel wells, this is all metal, like extremely heavy duty metal. Couldn't even like drill through it, so I let go. And then this box is a level. It's really 90 to everything. So that was the only reference I had to bring this thing up. And I use a combination of the laser, it's right there, and everything else that I had to make this thing level 90 here, and also on the side, like this way, front and back. But at the end, I think I got it. It was very useful to use literally eyeballing the thing at the end, because even with all the measurements, I was still off a little bit, and I think is also due to this metal bar not being like a square bar. So this is another problem, but it's galvanized, so and I'm prioritizing this weatherproof kind of material now. Anyway, this is what I'm working now, and today I want to build that side wall. It's very easy to do this job. It's not easy to find where to put this. So at the end of the day, there was some attachments like this and some other screws going under through the other side of the plywood here and on the middle. And then on this side, I used a combination of the original bus aluminum extrusion plus this attachment here to hold this whole thing together. It's extremely strong. I literally was hanging on the side of this thing as a very scientific method to make sure things are secure. You just hang from it. Believe me, I'm an engineer, and that's what I'm working right now. And this is another compound cut because the wall is curved a little bit, and on this side is supposed to be 90. So I'm gonna do this right now, and I'm taking you with me this time because I'm not forgetting you, I'm not leaving you behind. Erica will be mad at me if I don't record this thing. She makes the videos. Sorry. Now that this part is all cut to the right dimensions and it fits, and it's really snug on that curve part, I think did a good job tracing the line here. It's really tricky working with this, this kind of like a saw. I don't know what's the name of this, but it's very tricky to follow the lines. But I switched the blade, and I want to show you guys something that it helped me a lot. There is all kinds of blades, and this one is a very thin one. So if you're cutting straight lines, I think the bigger one is better because it kind of tends to follow the line and is stronger anyway. So you could go, like, let's say you could go faster. But this thin one here, it's very easy to maneuver when you're tracing lines. So this is a trick that I didn't know, and I also saw this in another video, and this guy gave a tip about this thing, and then I switched, and this was a big game changer for me. So there you go, tip from the pro. That is not me. Now I'm gonna just send this. I'm just prepping here. I think I have a 120 here, or 150 if I'm not mistaken. It's just a very I don't go really deep into this, and I also don't go any grit past 180 because when we apply this Rubio monocoat thing, the test that I made, the wood likes more if it's a little bit less smooth, I would say. So if more grain is better in this case, because then the wax seems to absorb the whole product a lot better. So, and I also don't take it out in like 10-12 minutes. I think I tend to leave like 15 to 20 minutes, and then I start wiping the thing off. It is a real exercise when you're wiping the thing off, and that's the downside of this kind of application. They say just like remove the excess, but the excess is very hard to remove. So it's like, I don't mind the physical activity of this, But if you have issues with that, I don't think this kind of product is for you. So far, the first one that we used in the bus, it's been there, I'm gonna say for 2-3 weeks now, and it's such a good color. This thing, like the wax over time, it kind of like it goes matte a little bit more, and then it looks like it deepens the color differences. Since we're going for a more like whitish look, it brings a little bit of the veins of the wood and the plywood in this case, and then it brings the very subtle colors of this plywood, which we like a lot. So, and they do have a bunch of colors. So if you want to experiment with that, I think you might like it. What I like the most though is that we can finish every single part before we install it on the bus. For this installation, I'm gonna show you later, I'm gonna have to do some L brackets on aluminum because I don't have the necessary clearance there to do my pocket holes on the inside, because I don't want them showing on the outside. And I could do them on the outside, which is the front, the driving area of the bus, but they might require a trim that is going to be bigger than all the other trims that I'm planning to do. So this is forcing me to do this kind of, I just had that idea 5 minutes ago looking at it. I could just place some L brackets in 4 places and then just screw one side to the back wall and one side to this wall, and then everything will be secured and in place. I think I'm still gonna put some glue on the edge to glue this and at least prevent any rattling in the future. But for now, I'm gonna send this and I'm gonna take you guys with me.